Well, we always say retirement is a journey, one that you shouldn't have to navigate solo. So that is why every week here on The Right Path to Retirement, we turn to financial advisor Jimmy Lynn, certified financial planner and the founder of Right Path Wealth Management right here in Las Vegas. All right, Jimmy, let's jump right in. And I want to start with something that I heard about the 401k this week. And a little history, the 401k really took off in the 1980s, and it was something that Congress created as a way to defer taxes on certain income, not as a primary retirement plan. But for many Americans, that's exactly what it has become today. So the question is the 401k dead? Yahoo Finance asked Charles Payne with Fox Business, so I want us to hear his answer.
I don't know that it's dead. I will say, though, that the 401k hasn't lived up to the hype. And I think that's one of the problems, right? And every year they come out and they'll say we have this many 401k millionaires, right? And it sounds like a huge number. That's cool. Then you say, well, how many people have a 401k? And it's like 0.03% of everyone with one. So the promise was that if you just put this money in, it was going to end up being worth a lot of money. And I don't know that it's dead, but I think people have to approach it differently. And I think they're starting to, particularly like the 60-40 portfolio. I think that's a huge mistake. On the 40 side, 40% in bonds, I think is just a massive mistake at this point.
So, Jimmy, if bonds are not doing the job that they once did, what should retirees and near retirees be looking at instead for that quote unquote safe portion of their portfolio? Can you talk on this for us?
I definitely can. And I would start off saying, people do not stop contributing to your 401k. I don't believe the 401k is dead. It's just to the point of the video, we don't want to necessarily just rely solely on the 401k. So keep contributing to that 401k. It's still, autopilot investing is typically the easiest way for people to invest, where you don't even see that your paycheck, it just automatically goes in. So I encourage people to do that. But it is also important, not only are we saving for retirement, but we also have the proper allocation. And that's what a lot of what Charles Payne is saying is that traditionally, people were just told you have a portfolio of 60% stocks and 40% bonds, and you should be okay. But Casey, that allocation probably started in like the early 80s, and times have changed. Bonds were performing a lot better back then, but as times have changed, we look at the recent history as early as the 2022, where stocks and bonds actually both dropped in value at the same time. And in theory, that's not supposed to happen. That's not what the portfolio was designed for. Mm-hmm. So we have to start educating ourselves on different options where we're not just relying on a strategy that was created, over 40 years ago. So a lot of what we do in our office, very popular, we talk about all the time, is fixed annuities and fixed index annuities, because those are accounts that truly can't go down in value. But we will see structural growth on those. I've been seeing that based on, you can get it based on the performance of the stock market, of the S&P 500. So there are different variations. There's high yield savings accounts that you can go into. Again, those can't lose any value. The yields have been higher as of late, but we do see those going down, Casey. So again, the thing is, you have to be nimble in retirement. You can't, focus on one strategy and just set it and forget it.
So, Jimmy, how do people know if their current portfolio is built for income or if it's built for just growth? Is there something that listeners can be checking for themselves there?
It's difficult, right? Because when you get these statements in there, they don't necessarily break down every line item and what the strategies are. That's one of the things that we're able to help a lot of clients with, because we run, and we don't do it ourselves. Like, you give me that same statement, I couldn't definitively tell you if your account was built for income or growth. Mm-hmm. But what we do is there are tools that we have access to as financial advisors. One very powerful one is a Morningstar report. So we can actually take the statements of that 401k or that TSP or that traditional IRA, or even if clients do have maybe annuities that they have gotten into in the recent past where they want to just get a review of that, we can take those statements and actually do that Morningstar report. So many people know about Morningstar, a third-party organization, does investment research, and we can get a detailed statement of the purpose of that investment, what type of fees that people may be paying that they don't know about, the performance over the past few years, just to make sure that it's aligned with the stage in life where we are wanting to focus on income, maybe not take on as much risk as we did in our 20s and 30s and even 40s. Mm-hmm. and that we've kind of adjusted to that distribution phase. So easy way is for us to actually take a look at these accounts and give them a detailed analysis of it.
Is this something that you have to look at before retirement, or is this something that can maybe be looked at and fixed after the fact? Or is there a point where it's too late, where there's a point of no return?
So Casey, I would say that this is something that you want to look at ahead of time. One of the common things whenever we're meeting with people, whether it's over the phone or they're coming in person, is people come in with their different investment statements. Typically, it's going to be like, the 401k that they have with their current employer. They probably have a couple other retirement accounts from previous employers that just have been sitting there. Maybe they've opened up their own individual accounts as well. And then they'll have an idea of what their pension is and what their Social Security is. Most common thing that people come in for, Casey, when we actually just kind of sit down and get to the bottom line of like what keeps you up at night, it's, I don't have a plan. I don't have any clarity.
Yeah.
Right? They don't know what they can do with these statements. They know they've saved some money. They feel like maybe they'll be okay, but are they going to be okay for a 30 or 40-year retirement with inflation going in different directions or a market that corrects itself and isn't on at all-time highs like we are currently? With all those different factors that could come into play over a 30 or 40-year period, people want clarity, and they can't get that clarity without an actual detailed plan. You don't want to go into retirement without a plan. You want to get that plan in place. It's like building a house, but not having the plans in place, right? You start building that foundation and you don't even have the blueprints. That's a kind of a recipe for disaster. So to answer your question is we would want to get that plan in place first. Because if anybody is just starting to think about retirement and they know they're a few years from it, or even if they've already entered into retirement, it's not too late. Ideally, we do it ahead of time, but we'd love to talk to anyone out there that just wants that clarity and seeing if a plan makes sense for them. If they want to find out about it or they just have questions about the process, reach out to us, get on my calendar. You can call us at 702-744-8344, and I'll be happy to talk to you about your current situation and give you some recommendations.
And when you help clients through this process, Jimmy, what is the biggest difference that you see them feeling once they actually have that plan set in place? What changes for them?
It's relief. They get that clarity. I mean, when right now they have just a maze that they're trying to get through and they have all these different numbers that are jumping around in their head, and we're able to kind of pull that all together, give them that clarity. And once they get that clarity, you could see the weight that's been lifted off their shoulders. So it is really just that relief that they know that they're going to be okay, or they know that there are strategies in place that will give them the best chance for success in retirement.
That's going to do it for us today here on the Right Path to Retirement. Jimmy, as always, thank you so much for breaking this down for us and helping people think through some very real retirement decisions. You and I will be back next week with more retirement insight for Las Vegas. But until then, Jimmy, I'll hand it back over to you to take us out today.
Yeah, I just want to wish everyone a wonderful weekend. And if you're listening to this and you have questions, don't hesitate to pick up the phone. Love to get you on the right path to retirement.
Insurance products are offered through the insurance business Right Path Wealth Management. Right Path Wealth Management is also an investment advisory practice that offers products and services through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, a registered investment advisor. IPW does not offer insurance products. The insurance products offered by Right Path Wealth Management are not subject to investment advisory requirements. Investing involves risk, including potential loss of principal. Any reference to the protection, safety, or lifetime income generally refer to fixed insurance products, never securities or investments. Insurance guarantees are backed by the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing carrier. This radio podcast is intended for informational purposes only. It's not intended to be used as the sole basis for financial decision, nor should it be construed as advice designed to meet the particular needs of an individual situation. Right Path Wealth Management is not permitted to offer, and no statement made during this show shall constitute tax or legal advice. Our firm is not affiliated with or endorsed by the U.S. government or any governmental agency. The information and opinions contained herein provided by third parties have been obtained from sources believed to be reliable, but accuracy and completeness cannot be guaranteed by Right Path Wealth Management.
Market Guard is a firm that provides investment signals as well as portfolio allocation recommendations, wide variety of model portfolios. Market Guard does not offer advice or enter into fiduciary relationships.